Okay, so before I get started with Purdue, we're just talking about how self-destructive things got. This is how bad that got. This is going up to Lake Geneva. Whoa. Before that. There's this road right before you get to Lake Geneva. It looks kind of flat. So there's Lake Geneva. You come up through Woodstock or wherever, Woodstock, and then come up here, all these back. It's great country, and that's America back then. There's Hebron around here, and it's just neat America. There's an old fruit stand along the little red barn or something. That was so good, the food. And they're good memories with all that. It's parents sucked, but no. So anyway, in high school, we went up to Lake Geneva a couple times. One was during senior prom. So there's this road. Now, as you get to that road, it's flat. Or so you think. And this is how destructive we were. We'll just go down here. Rich and I, this one time, and Craig was in the car, and Tim was... So I'm driving, Rich's shotgun, Craig and Tim are in the back seat. At this point, now I'm in a yellow International Harvester that you see, Father worked at International Harvester, and one of the perks, he had this International Harvester Scout. So this is the Scout. That was me, Rich, Tim, and then Craig over here. Because Craig would reach up and just hit me or something. It was high school. And so just imagine this, and the rotation is, okay, do it right. So we're going down here, and you go, and by now we're at 40 miles an hour, 50, 60, and at this point, I decide to do one of these. I start climbing out onto the roof while the car's flying down the road, and Rich immediately has to jump in and take over. I said, hold the wheel for me. And he did. And so as soon as he did that, I start doing one of these. He gets over, and then he's going down. This is bad. And we're down here, and this and so then I'm up here. He's scooting over to get in the driver's seat. Thankfully, the door's not open. And I'm crawling across as we're going down. Now he's got the accelerator going back down. I'm getting all excited because I'm like trembling because I remember this. And we get down here, and this road has these humps. Look at this. Now you're going 65, 70, but look at this, and it's blind. You're blind. There could be a tractor. Lots of times there'd be farm equipment, old Farmer Jones going. All of a sudden you get this high school, 4 guys in a Harvester Scout come fly. There's a guy on the roof. This guy, and then I keep doing that. Move these down here, and so then I start climbing in through this window, and then Rich is over here, and then it was like, well, that was kind of fun, and we're like, yeah, but then Rich, of course, he can't outdo me. At this point, he goes up he does what I just did, going across, and that kind of caught me off guard, because I'm like, after I leave the wheel, it's up to you. You gotta bail me out. But now, But now he's coming around, and I've got a jump seat going across. Then we start hitting these bumps, and I gun it. Look at this. There's traffic, and I'm gunning it. And the worst part was we get to this point, and I start putting the windshield wipers on and squirting fluid up, and he's got death grips on the bar here, trying to hold on. I don't know if I'm swerving that much, but it's like I'm trying to knock him off. Oh my God, if something had happened, people, if you don't think you're getting looked over, oh my God. And then we get to this point, and I'm squirting, and I don't even remember if I heard Rich or something, but then you keep going, and then you come, I remember at this point, I'm squirting him, and then you get over to this last hill, and it's a stop. And you kind of forget where you are. Squirt. But then I didn't have to slam on the brakes or anything, but it was abrupt. I mean, his legs didn't come flying down the windshield in front. But, oh my God, I went out and saw him a few years ago. And we talked about that, and that just got into the whole psychology of what, and then we brought up Laura and talking about that and Craig's dad and the impact and stuff, but holy smoke, my palms are wringing wet just remembering that. And we get down here, and it's just like, ho, let's go over to Dairy Ripple and get a bratwurst, because they're really good. I mean, it was just like, well, that was fun, but on to the next stupid thing. We turn here, and then we just go into town. And I drive into the ditch, but then that was it. That was high school. Oh, God. I gotta think if there's not a memorable senior prom, except for poor Timmy. And Tim's no longer with us. There's going to be a Tim segment, but Tim's no longer with us, and we lost Tim last fall, and he and I got back together. We reconnected, and man, you think my x-rays are bad, take mine times 2, and then include a heart and kidney stones. That's Tim. Anyway, poor Tim. Well, let me find those guys. Hold on one second. Okay, this will be good. So this is Rich, and this was probably 1985-ish, and this guy did a little bit of everything. And at one point, he was raising these bulldogs, whatever that thing is. Oh, here we go. He was raising... Wonder if that's the male or the female. And so he's raising these, and he bred them, and they were show dogs, I think. And so he's a good hunter. He's a hunter, and I don't think he fishes, but I mean, he's a good old Illinois guy, not a Texas guy. So that was my closest life friend ever. And if anyone gets 10% of what this guy gives people, you're a lucky person. And I got greedy or something, but this is the greatest guy in my life. And I mean, And so, is that a boy dog or is that a girl dog? And so that's Rich, and we'll do a whole thing for him. So, and this is kind of the gang. Here's Tim. Tim was just a card. He was a card. And he was kind of a half grade in between us. Kind of class of 79/80. Or no, 77/78. I'm not sure what happened there. But, and then here's Rich. There's me. Oh, come on. I don't want to do that to him. Oh, I already lost it. Oh God, if you ever see that. Oh God. And this is a cool guy, and he liked me for some reason. So here's Craig, he's perm. Here's Rich. That's just Rich. There's Cyril. This is Pizza Cottage. And actually, they had a Pizza Cottage annex down the road. This isn't the original. Mark Hattler. Oh my God. That's who that is. And this guy, he made a ton of money working for the Tollway Authority in the booze. It turned out that some gal smacked into the toll booth. He walked away, well, didn't walk away, and that's the point. He got an injury off of it. But the guy was pulling in 60 G's in the mid-80s as a toll booth. Oh, I don't know what he's doing now, but I mean, these guys were gearheads. This is the Zephyr guy, and I couldn't find any Zephyr. I couldn't find any Zephyr pics. I guess they're all just kind of like, it's so vintage that they banned them from Google and stuff, but I couldn't find a 4-door because I really wanted to verify if it was 4 too, and I really thought it was 4, but I won't swear by that. So there's Mark again, Rich, Tim. That's who he ended up marrying. She sat in front of me in Spanish class, and I was Pedro. And we goofed around in there a little bit too much. But yeah, then it wasn't a happy ending. So there's Craig and his little furly things. It's Craig. Anyway, so that's it. Those are the only pics the other ones were lost. And I lost a bunch of stuff in the foreclosure. So this is, and I thought I was in track for some reason. At least I was in the track picture. And I think it's on this page. But I've got people that are finding this and I'll get it eventually. But say this were the track photos. It'd be like guy. All of a sudden it'd be this tiny head in the back. Because I was just this little short piece of garbage. But then here, this is... Hold on. So this is gym class, and guess who the gym aide is? And guess who the gym aide's hand is? I think we got a bigger... There we go. Those are my hands. And this is the guy that tormented me in the shower and stuff, where I was so glad to get gym excuse where I didn't have to take anything because this guy tormented me. He went on to play football at Iowa for the Hawkeyes, and he was a defensive Rose Bowl player of the game. And so, there's the gym aide. Look at that. He's that tall. That guy's way in the back, but that's how he's still taller than me. Look how far behind he is. And he's still taller than me. I was just this little thing that never... My hand didn't dip into the hormone jar until junior year. And then I grew up. So there's the gym aide. We don't need to zoom in anymore, but... Oh, God, that was... Then when we... Oh, these were just... I was going to show what... Oh. So I just put this in because I want people to kind of think back. If you're going to if you haven't had your epiphany, you got to think back at what the mindset was before things went really south or dark or whatever in your life. Just go back to those days when things were just fun, and even as traumatic they were at the time. So I just threw this in here because remember when you had those stupid yearbooks and then people would just write real stupid things to a good student? I remember him. Marty, I remember him, but I forgot his last name, but to a nice guy from a nicer... Marty, whatever. Clay Humble was a guy that I goofed around. We had a little bit... we did some stuff. Brian, this is the Ed Mung guy. Ed Mung guy is the guy that he blew up a train or something. The story was he put a penny on a train trying to derail it and something went wrong. But Ed Mung guy was different. And yeah, he's one of those where, wonder what he's like when he was a kid. Well, and then I gotta do this, but so is Cindy Losi, the John Rock. When you just remember the days when people wrote, and that was it. That was innocence in life. Cindy Losi, she was fun. Cindy Losi was like the assistant dean's daughter. And she had the best parties. She lived in Black Hawk Manor, and Cindy was she fun? And Lori Knickrum and Chris Gamble. Anyway, and I know those guys still hang around each other. Oh God, did she have fun parties? But it was at the assistant dean's daughter's house. Oh, and then, Ted is look, I liked you. But remember when all this was so cool, and then over the summer, you just read that, it's like, I wonder if she really does like me, and like me, or, okay, Clyde Lewis, that was another guy in orchestra, and, all right. Well, this will show that how I lied. Okay. So, I don't need a setup for this. I had to wait. This was in 6th grade. Well, okay. So in 6th grade, about 5th or 6th grade, when I started playing the cello, here's wing school. I had to walk up here with that cello, mind you, and the thing's twice as big as, it's like a bass for most people. But compared to me, I've got a cello that looks like a fiddle next to me. And I had to carry that thing and come up here and wait for my mother for some reason to pick me up, because I think there's a practice or something up here, but I had to stand on the corner here and wait for her to pick me up. Well, I don't even know why, but this is the first time I played with a razor, and I thought I should see how a razor works. And I shaved part of my eyebrow. And it was a little bit of my left eyebrow. And I kind of cut a little bit, because I wanted to see, okay, let's see this big thing. I'm not ready for puberty. That's a decade away at least. And so I shaved my eyebrow, and I had this little nick over my eye, and it just went, okay, undetected. So one day after this, my mother used to pick me up after cello class, and Clyde Lewis, that's where I was going with it. Clyde was this big guy, and I got a class picture of Clyde, and he was a big guy, and he played a violin, and I was a little guy and played a cello. So we've got Abbott Costello and whatever the analogy is, walking up here, and we'd stand on this street corner and wait for our rides. So anyway, my mother comes and picks me up, and I throw the cello in the back seat. Probably needed a crane fork to help me get it in. And we're driving home. She looks over and she goes, "What happened to your eye?" And I was like, "I don't know what you're talking about." And she goes, there's a cut above your eye and it's bleeding. And it was like, and instead of saying I was playing with Miles's razor, I used this story. What's the first thing a guy who's trying to get out of a little lie, what does he do? Some guys came by and kind of gave us a hard time and roughed me up, but it's fine. I'm fine. Don't worry about it. And she just went ballistic. Who? What? Who went? I mean, she was a mother, but she was married to... and so she had her moments where, even though we're adopted, she had maternal. She was normal at that point. Just Miles's little intersecting curve just tainted So we fly home, and she's like, we're going to find out. That's unacceptable. I mean, you should have people out there protecting you, that you're by yourself. I go, no, there's another guy with me, Clyde. Look. So then Clyde became my alibi to verify that these guys were there. And it's like, no, Clyde doesn't know. I said, well, Clyde wasn't there. She goes, well, he was there when I picked you up. I said, well, it happened before Clyde. Don't you walk up to Clyde with Clyde? And it's like, oh, and I just got deeper and deeper and deeper into the whole thing. And she went home, and she calls the school. This had to be 5th grade, because Felicetti was the principal. And she reads him the riot act, saying, why isn't there someone protecting the kids after they're done with their cello practice to protect them? Because there's like a hall or something, because there were, I remember maybe it was just the orchestra, the cello, but Clyde and I would walk up there. And he's just like, I don't know what I'll find out, talk to you. It's like, oh my God. And I could never, I lied just enough to make it go away, but not the same day. This thing boiled for a week, and then it became that incident that happened. I don't want that to happen to you again, so, oh my God, was that bad? But that was a lie, but they never caught me in a lie like that. I never did. The worst lie like that was, did you check the oil in your car? Yeah, it's fine. No, it's not. I just checked it. That was senior year. And it was like, okay, I'm throwing you out because we don't trust you. And God. Anyway, it was, that was bad. But I'm trying to think of what my story was before this. Oh, okay. Squirrel. And, nope, we did that. Sorry. And, see, I'm just going to the age of innocence where we did all these things. And so what else we got? Love you. Well, that's the same thing. No, it's a different year. Cindy, I think she did like me. Have fun over the summer. Good luck next. Oh, that was a write-off. See ya. All right. Oh, that is the same one. Oh, yeah, here we go. Getting the good stuff. So then you had, those warm-hearted comments where, to a real faggot in math. Rachel Tester, it was, I'm not the kind of person who knows what to write, so I'll just say good luck. She loved me. Oh, I don't know who this was. Bill Richards. This guy played tennis, I think, this summer, but leave your brother's girl alone. I don't even know what that means, but Gary Bender, remember him? Okay, then Kevin Farrell, it was just like, good luck in the HSE next year. Just remember when that was, you did stuff like that. My buddy Mel Cole, he and I had football practice. Gary Cutina was the science teacher. I gotta see what he wrote. Hold on. I haven't read this, so I want to make sure I do it live. So, yeah, Gary Cutina was the science teacher. So, Brian, you've been a most pleasant fellow to know. You always have a good word. You're one that helped me make it through 6th period. Best of luck, always, Gary. See, I wasn't a bad student. I had fun. But Carol Blizzard. So, I just looked her up for some reason. And character witness for the trial. No, kidding. But she, I don't know how to describe her. She's doing real well. I mean, she's one of those solid people in life that people, if they knew what they were doing, they would, let's just find a nice, smart girl. That would have been Carol. And, I always have to see you this summer, but not really. It's swim, because we belong to the same swim club in Sherwood Oaks. So I'll get to that. But then Elsa Aguilera, I can't read it sideways, but Brian, we've been good friends. She had a party, and it's the first time I played Spin the Bottle, but no, I went into the closet with someone and go, what are we supposed to do now? I don't know. I bet they did know, and it's just like, I don't, The rules escape me, Brian, but let's just, talk about life for a second and come back out. Everyone's going, whoa. And it's like, what'd you do? Oh, he talked about life. Okay. Oh, wonderful you. Oh, it's been much fun. I know I'll never forget any of it. Yeah, I bet you didn't. So, love ya, love ya, love ya. But in that great age, who's this? Julie Thibodeau. Oh, there's a name out. Been a while. But, have a good thought. I don't know if I've got any more. Let's just go straight to the source. So this was first grade. There's Miss Scott. Clyde Lewis is there. And that's Carol Blizzard, Dave Cups. And this guy, Tony Covington. Tony Covington is, when Miss Scott would leave the room, here's me. Look at this is look at the, oh my God. I gotta find the Purdue, I'll find it. So I went from this, the only guy that goes to first grade for this pictures and wears a tie. And then, so I went from there to Purdue and the only guy not wearing a tie. There's a full circle. There's Jeff Barker. And he had a horse ranch down the street. Oh, and horseback. There's Paul Herman. Oh, wow. See, that's, oh. So that's Paul Herman. See, whoa. And people teased me. No one teased him. Look, yeah, he had a good 6 inches, 5 inches on people. I think that's Stacy Gudeman. Julie Matheson. Oh my gosh. This is Dave Cobbs. I said that already. I know. I don't know who that is, but I know. Anyway. So Paul Herman, it's like, why are you guys picking on me for being an orphan? Pick on Radar O'Reilly here. He's got 2 scoops of radar antenna going on. And it's like, no, we're just going to, we like the guy that does, that looks like this in first grade. Like, oh, come on. So that's then. There's second grade. No, that's fourth. Okay, I can always stick to one because I can't zoom on this one. But so this was fourth grade, but there's Tony Covington. This is Larry Sheldon. Larry's just a little bit down that day. So there's Carol Blizzard, Dave Cobbs, and Liz Voigt, and Paul Herman. I know Jim Kelly, the football player, but no. Rhonda Sadler, she lived in the farmhouse next door. There's Ed Mungai, Tim Owens, I think that's Jerome Cunningham. And I don't remember. I should know. But anyway, Clay Nessler, he kind of had a stutter. And in Mr. Milhorn's 8th grade class, he got himself good. We were reading poetry and early American poets, and he got William Faulkner. So God had his little fun that day too. But so that was fourth grade, and then I think this is the only other one. So there's Ms. Zoros. Check out Ms. Zoros. There's Mr. Hayes. That's the principal. There's Clyde Lewis. There's, the guy that gets, and that's Chris Rock. And he does. Doesn't that look like Chris Rock? Anyway, Rhonda Sadler. Oh, is that Jim Wormington? There's another guy that played cello is Jim Wormington. And he was Jim Wormington. Jim Wormington was even shorter than me, but he had this bleach blonde hair, and he looked like a head, and we had a great time. That's what he looked like, but I don't remember him in grade school. Only there's Mark Fricky, Paul Wasman. Here, we got double down on cool. Yeah, so these guys, that's Paul Wasman, Mark Fricky. Sharon Wilson, Julie Matthews. Oh, this girl, she rode our bus. She was different. She ended up changing her. She was Sharon Wilson, then all of a sudden she's Sharon Garsha. And she, oh my gosh, I mean, Jerry Springer had a show on her probably at this point, but I shouldn't say that, but whoa, 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 whoa. So yeah, Paul Herman, there's me, but I mean, we were cool afterwards. We laughed. It was funny. And, there's that one guy again, but Rich Littlefield, Sergio Rodriguez, Clyde, anyway, Felicia Garcia. But there's Ms. Zorro's. Man, tell me, Mr. Braun and her? Oh, they weren't just doing study notes. Nuh-uh. I shouldn't do that. Never mind. So, but, yeah, just out of college. Seriously. All right, I think that's it. Yeah. So, yeah, okay, there's that, and who wouldn't beat that up? Yeah, beat that up. Go beat that up, and go, yeah. Oh, there we got the braces, and working on that sport. It's like, is this coming back, or is this in yet, or am I before the time? I just want to be there when it catches, because that Peter Brady look's going to catch on like fire. And I want to make sure I've got this when I go down to Purdue and dazzle the hearts of freshman girls down there. But that's it. That's all the pictures. My favorite. That was, I was so ashamed of this for so many years. And, I do have the orchestra class. I'll get that in a second. But I was so ashamed of this photo that, there's Kim Stoll. Oh my God. We went to this concert at Hemmons Auditorium, and if anyone we should have been lifelong, like, friends and partners and eventually got married, it would have been Kim Stoll. And she ended up, the last I had heard the 80s was, she ended up moving to Milwaukee and joined a covenant and became a nun. Anyway, but oh my God, did we have fun. And we went to this concert at Hemmons Auditorium, and she and I sat next to each other, and we passed notes back and forth, and we're cracking up and doing the and holding it in and barely, and almost to the point where people had to stop playing to just, you guys in the audience, and what busted it open was the use of the word pianist. And we just lost it, and we're just, oh God, Kim, she was so, and then this would have been, I bet you, if I had paid attention to what I was getting shown at, but she joined the covenant, so because, no, I'm obviously kidding, I'm not anyway, but let me get Jim in here and we'll wrap it up. Okay, so this was, I don't know what grade, it had been 8. Oh, Lynn Coleman? She was my nemesis. I was second chair. He was like, because I had the gift. I had a musical ear that I resented. And there's Jim. There's Jim Wormington. And he's not listening. Oh, there he is. Anyway, he's down here. Wormington. Jim Wormington. Lynn Coleman. Oh, I did get it right. So, Wes Lloyd. I know that without even looking. So, Wes Lloyd was kind of the engineer of an engineer. Mr. Steensland. There's Clay Nessa. Faulkner. And I'm sorry. I mean, that's why you've got to cleanse yourself so you stop doing this. I'm sorry. And Joyner, and anyway, so yeah, there's Kim, and we always goofed around. There's Elsa, but And Mr. Steensland was one of these old curmudgeons. And you talk about fate having his protection, whatever. The 9th grade, I quit orchestra, or I was planning to quit orchestra, and we were going to lock him in his office and push the piano up against the door and do all these things. His wife died. She died right before that we were going to do that, so it's kind of like, I think the timing might be a little bad to pimp over the guy that, you know, if it was an F sharp, I'd just play F flat to, wait, click, click, click. Okay, where did that come on, you guys. And we played the theme song for Andy Griffith's show or something. And it was one of those, you know, cello bass lines. You go, dum, 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 dum. And I just did one of those dum 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 dum. It's just off, and you have to stop because you know wasn't sure where it's coming from. And there's Carrie Kellenberger. We had a great time too, but yeah. And then Gene Rovelstadt got it. This had to have been 9th grade then, I think, because Lynn was first chair. I was probably 3rd chair. Gene Rovelstadt was the cello player. Lynn was 2nd, so yeah, because Jim and I were like 2nd or 3rd and 4th chair. And poor Carrie, you know, she was fun, but cello wasn't her thing, but she had fun. And so yeah, that's why Jim and I would goof around, because I was 3rd, Jim was 4th. Oh God, it was great. But man, look at the, you know, the girls are wearing the socks, and, you know, what a time of life. I remember the basement. Faulkner? That's me. But anyway, so that's that, and I gotta wrap up, so I'll be back. Okay, so I just want to get the mindset in for senior year, my 5-minute intro, and so senior year, all that stuff happened, and then my rec, and then we did the graduation thing. And then all that summer, all I did was work at the medical center. And all summer, I just spent, Craig and I, all summer. Folks went up to the lake. No, I'm trying to raise money for college and stuff. And they were fine with that, but it came toward the end of summer, and one day my mother came out, and she flies up, comes in the parking lot, and stops out in front, and goes, I want you coming home right after work. Don't go over to Craig's house. Don't do this. You come straight home. Your father's so upset with you that he had to come home from work. He is so upset with you. And I'm just thinking, what? What did they know about? There's got to be something I did at a party. And then I was like, oh my God. And it was like that Cindy Losi party. And that's kind of why I said that. Cindy had the party. Oh, Black Hawk. It was over here. So there's Cindy. So she had a party over in Black Hawk Manor. And I'm thinking, oh, I bet they found out about this stuff in the tree. So what happened was, when we were just getting out of our minds on things, that the little backup was that I kind of was a punching bag, but in a good way, of a slapstick punching bag. So, for example, and probably a perfect example is, they'd put butterscotch pudding on the floor in front of the locker, so when I went up there, they'd push me around and slip and slide and fall and ha-ha. And so it was that kind of slapstick. But, you know, a lot of us were dealing with a bunch of stuff. And so at this party, for some reason, Rich and, oh God, who, pick your senior knucklehead, and they gang tackled me and stripped me down to my underwear, and I'm running around. This was a field back then. I don't need to do that. It was a field back then. So I start running through this field in my underwear. Dave Bonenkamp's got a Jeep. He blows into the field. He's chasing me in this Jeep in the headlights and chases me, and I run up a tree. And so I'm hiding up in this tree until someone gets me some clothes, because I wasn't coming down. Ain't no way, no way, no way. You know, ha, is over. I'm not going to come down with Bonenkamp's Jeep with the lights beaming. So someone finally gave me my clothes. And, okay, so that's pretty much this. It was a stupid, stupid, stupid thing. So when Carolyn came out there and says, I want you coming home. I don't want you to stop. Your father's so upset with you. He's livid. That was the word. He's livid with you. So I'm just like, and Craig's like, oh, what did you do? So after work, I go home, it's probably about this fast, going, what did I do? How could they have found out about the party? There was only, why would they tell? There's nothing to gain. And it's like, oh, I should turn here, but I'm not going to, because I got to figure out what's going on. Why are they doing? Okay. So I finally got home. Yeah, I went the back way, going down here. And this is worse than the old county roads. And I'm purposely skipping because it's kind of fun. But instead of doing, when they repaved this is what's great in the country. When we got a dump of snow in 67, this took 3 or 4 days to get to. So, and maybe this is why I'm jumping here. So we were snowed in. And my father had the Sears tractor that probably still runs today. That thing just, wow. And so he plowed the driveway, but there's no traffic. We had no power for at least 3 days, and I didn't know this until I got married, and Jane got the story from my mother. My mother said that she was so worried about us freezing and not sleeping that she fed us whiskey. And you wonder why I grew up and had some issues with beverage? But I don't remember that part, but it's what my mother told Jane, so those are her words. Anyway, so when they finally fixed it was an old beat-up country road, and they finally fixed it up one year, and instead of just doing half at a time, they just tore up the whole thing in the springtime. So one time when I came home from Sears, this thing is a mud bath. And I came home and it's like, well, I can four-wheel my 67 Volkswagen Squareback. There, doesn't that look like an all-terrain vehicle in high school? This is before I fixed it up, obviously. But, yeah, I put Bondo there, Bondoed this thing up, Bondoed around the headlights. And I had shark teeth, white vinyl tape, shark teeth. And I didn't do just little, I did jaws. I had big teeth and little teeth, and it looked cool. And repainted it, and so this was a great vehicle. But I tried to go down this muddy road and get stuck here, and my folks were out of town, and then my brother got stuck, and oh man, that was bad. So where was I going? So I'm coming home, figuring out what is going on. So I get home, and I walk in the door. My mother's there. My father's behind her. He's yelling. She's crying. And it's just this totally surreal thing. And I'm like, what? And they go, what are you doing with your life? And I was like, hubba, who? And they said, what are you doing? You know, you spend all summer, you're working out it. You're spending all your time with Rich and Craig, and you're never around, and, you know, you do this. And what I honestly, and this was hindsight, but I had no idea at the time, I think my father had to write the first tuition statement and wanted to get out of that whole thing. Because I wasn't rebellious. I wasn't arguing, fighting. Never, never, never. The only thing I did was I spun the tires, you know, the long driveway, I hauled the garbage down for pickup, and at the entrance, because I didn't take it in my car because I didn't want to ruin it, but I put it in the other car and drove it down, in the trunk and emptied it, and I spun the tires. I was mad at something, and, the tires and came up, and my father was outside and heard me, and so when I came up, he goes, "Give me your keys." And I was like number one to throw me out. And he said, "Nah, all right, whatever." My mother, actually, I know my mother intervened, said, he's got other things going on. Just settle down. You'll have your time. And this is that time. Because he lit into me, and she's crying. He's yelling. He's telling her to shut up, and it's just totally out of the norm. I mean, on a scale of rage 0 to 10, they were at 7, and I'd never seen a 3 or a 4. So take that for what it is, and so finally the deal was they had no idea if I was serious about school. And I said, yeah, nothing's changed. I told you I had to work. He paid for tuition. I paid for books, or tuition and lodging. I paid for books and living expenses, which, in hindsight, is like, that's, he had a bonus that paid for my college tuition. I know that for a fact. Because he had my mother ended up one time spouting off that your father had a $20,000 raise, and you're lucky that you went to college, because if he did, and anyway. So, the guy had a porn collection. That was much. Don't want to go there. But, so he's lit into me, and I'm more relieved, because I think, well, it's not about the St. Lucie thing, so I get, I don't get belligerent, but I get my swagger back, where I don't have to explain why I got half naked in a tree, getting chased by Dave Bonenkamp in his Jeep. Oh, God, but that was the setup, where, like, 2 weeks before leaving for Purdue was ready to throw me out. Just sight unseen, you're done. And I turned around. You walk out that door, you're never coming back. And I thought, and that was it. I turned around, but I had 2 seconds of thought out the door, because I almost wanted to paint fences. There's a farm along here, and I would have been happy with a radio to just paint fences back then. Honest to God, I still love painting fences and stuff, but that ran through my head when he goes, you walk out that door, paint a white fence. Not a bad option, but nah. Anyway, we'll pick up where that leaves off.